Okay, the rod stock is in position. The platform's been raised. The drill chuck has been exchanged for a tenon cutting tool, and everything's aligned. Also, it probably looks a little strange. This white substance on the guide rod is actually beeswax. It's used as a lubricant because it spins at pretty high speed. This is an adjustable speed drill press, has a transmission in it, so you can choose the exact speed for whatever the operation is. So we're going to take the first cut. This won't end up at the finished size, but it'll take the bulk of the material away. And cut number 2. And here's the final cut. All that's left is to trim the shank, the tenon to the proper length, and we'll move to a different part of the shop. Okay, a good way to get a square cut on the end of a tenon is to actually use the tenon cutting tool with the blade all the way up against the post. It's harder than it sounds to get a flat cut on the end of a piece of tubing by hand, so we'll do it this way. Alrighty then, she is cooked, at least on the drill press. Okay, here comes some of the tricky stuff. The tenon was cut slightly oversized so that it's a sticky but tight fit into the stem here. And we are going to reduce its final amount and polish it at the same time along with the face of the stem here. And the way that's done is with an aircraft drill bit in an electric drill, cordless electric drill. And you remember the step down when the 0.125 inch airway was open to 0.128 for about that distance. And that is so there'd be a slight shoulder in the airway hole. And the tip of this drill will catch on that after you thread it on there. And then you can spin this thing like so against a wheel that's moderately firm, and using green compound, which is pretty abrasive, but you use light pressure. So it sounds like a ridiculous way to go about it, but the results are very fast and extremely good. Here we go. And that's all there is to it. You test fit a few times. Don't want to go too small, of course. But after a reasonable amount of experience with this thing, you can tell by pressure and duration how many thousandths of an inch that you can remove at one time. I'm going to step off camera for a second and touch this on a wax wheel, and then we'll check the fit. And here we go. Nice and shiny, polished face. See what we got here. A nice glide-on fit, and it is light tight. So we did okay with the reamers in the early going there. So that is it. It's pretty weird. It works spectacularly well. And since a drill press keeps the work stationary, this lets you polish the tenon as if you were cutting it on a lathe. So there we go. Next step will be cut the slot. And I'll explain why I do that so early in the process as well.